Hey there, Pirates fans. So, I've got something really interesting for you today. You thought you knew everything about Captain Jack Sparrow, right? I mean, he's the quirky, unpredictable pirate who's always one step ahead, forever making us laugh. But what if I told you there's a deleted scene from Pirates of the Caribbean that reveals a whole new side of Jack? A side that's way darker than anything we've ever seen. It's a side of him that didn't make it to the big screen, but it's totally out there. And trust me, once you hear about it, you'll never look at Jack Sparrow the same way again. Now, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, what could possibly be dark about Captain Jack? He's all fun and games, right? But, believe me, this hidden part of his character could change how we all view him forever. And today, we're diving deep into this secret, the one scene that almost made it into the movie but didn't quite make the cut. So, grab a drink, sit back, and let's explore this untold piece of pirates' history. What's this dark secret about Jack Sparrow that we never got to see? Keep watching, and I'll tell you all about it. Here's the thing, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, the second movie in the series, there was a deleted scene that showed Captain Jack Sparrow in a completely different light. Now, we all know Jack, he's the charming, slightly chaotic pirate who always seems to get himself out of trouble. But what if I told you that this scene showed a side of him that's not so carefree? A side of Jack we rarely ever get to see, a side that's struggling, haunted by past mistakes, and filled with regret. Imagine this, Jack, usually the life of the party, the guy who always has a quip or a crazy plan, is suddenly overwhelmed by his past actions. The scene that didn't make the final cut reveals him in a much darker light. In this moment, Jack isn't the fun-loving pirate we know and love. Instead, he's caught up in his own emotions, reflecting on things he's done and the mistakes he can never undo. It's a moment of vulnerability for Jack, showing us a much more complex and conflicted character than we've ever seen on screen. And the thing is, this scene didn't just show Jack as a brooding anti-hero, it actually exposed some real darkness in his past. In it, Jack is grappling with guilt, and not just any kind of guilt. The guilt of betraying his crew, the people who trusted him, in a way that could have led them all to disaster. This wasn't just a casual mistake. It was a betrayal that could have cost them their lives, and that's something Jack can't just brush off, no matter how many bottles of rum he downs. But here's the kicker, this deleted scene was cut from the movie. It was too much of a downer, too serious for a character who's supposed to be fun, right? Disney, understandably, wanted to keep Jack's image lighthearted and adventurous. They didn't want to take away from his charm and make him seem like someone carrying this kind of emotional baggage. But what if they had kept it in? What if we got to see Jack in this more raw, vulnerable state? The truth is, this scene could have completely changed the way we see Jack Sparrow. It would have shown him not just as the lovable rogue, but as a character who's deeply affected by his past and the choices he's made. It would have given Jack some emotional depth that we've never fully explored before. And let's face it, that could have been a powerful moment for fans to connect with the character on a whole new level. Now, you might be thinking, why was this scene even included in the first place if it didn't make the final cut? Well, here's where it gets interesting. According to some of the behind-the-scenes sources, Johnny Depp, the man behind the character of Captain Jack, actually lobbied for this scene to stay in the movie. Yep, Depp wanted us to see this side of Jack. He believed that showing Jack's inner turmoil would make him a more complex and relatable character. Johnny thought that we, the audience, deserved to see the man behind the swagger. But here's the thing, audiences didn't exactly respond well to this deeper side of Jack. Test audiences, when shown the scene, felt it was too heavy, too serious for a film that was meant to be a fun adventure. They wanted Jack to remain the carefree pirate, the one who always had a witty comeback, and didn't dwell on the past. Disney probably saw this feedback and made the decision to cut the scene, figuring that it would alter the tone of the movie too much. Now, let's talk a little more about what this scene revealed about Jack. It was all about guilt. Jack confesses that he betrayed his crew, and this betrayal could have led to their deaths. That's some serious stuff, right? Think about it, Jack isn't just a rogue pirate who steals and lies for fun. He's a man who's made some pretty awful decisions in his past, and they've haunted him ever since. And in this scene, we get a glimpse of just how much those decisions weigh on him. But what's interesting is how much this changes the way we think about Jack. He's no longer just the funny, quirky guy who always seems to get away with everything. Now, we see him as a flawed individual, someone who has his own demons to battle. And I think that would have made him an even more compelling character. It would have shown us that, just like the rest of us, Jack has to live with the consequences of his actions. And in a way, that makes him more human, more likable, even though he's made some terrible choices. Imagine if this scene had stayed in the final version of the film. It would have been a turning point for Jack's character. We could have seen him wrestle with this guilt, maybe even try to make amends for what he'd done. Instead of just being the pirate who talks his way out of every problem, he would have been a pirate with depth, someone we could empathize with, someone whose journey was about more than just treasure and adventure. And speaking of Johnny Depp, let's take a moment to talk about what he wanted for Jack. As we mentioned, Depp was really passionate about this darker side of Jack, and he pushed for the scene to stay. According to Depp, Jack Sparrow isn't just a caricature of a pirate. He's a tragic hero in his own way, and showing his vulnerabilities would have made him a more rounded character. Depp didn't want Jack to just be a comic relief. He wanted him to be real, with flaws, regrets, and emotions that make him relatable. There's actually a quote from Depp where he says, "Jack's a guy who's driven by guilt and the mistakes he's made, but at the same time, he can't help but laugh his way through life." It's this duality that makes Jack so compelling. And Depp was trying to highlight it more, even if it didn't always come through on the big screen. So, why did Disney decide to cut this scene? It all comes down to balancing the tone. Pirates of the Caribbean has always been a movie about adventure, humor, and chaos, and adding a heavy scene like this one would have changed the entire vibe of the film. But it's fascinating to think about what could have been. We could have seen a Jack who wasn't just the lovable rogue, but a Jack who faced real challenges and made mistakes that actually affected the people around him. Now, let's wrap this up. What do you think? Do you think this darker, more emotional side of Jack Sparrow would have made the Pirates franchise better? Or do you think it would have taken away from what makes Jack so fun to watch? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this, so drop a comment below and let me know what you think. And hey, if you're a fan of Captain Jack, don't miss our other video where we dive deep into some of the best behind-the-scenes moments from Pirates of the Caribbean. Trust me, it's full of fun facts and hidden gems that you won't want to miss. Before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exclusive insights into your favorite characters and movies. I've got tons more content coming your way that I know you'll love. Alright, pirates, that's it for today. Remember to stay adventurous, keep your compass close, and never stop exploring those hidden stories.